You booked it, episode 185. What's going on, everyone? Thank you for joining me today on You Booked It, the #1 podcast where you learn how to create a successful entertainment career. Over the past few months, I have been working in the background putting together a little something that is pretty cool, and it is finally ready to share with you. I am excited to announce the You Booked It community. It is your go-to career resource and the only platform worldwide that covers the entire entertainment industry. From unlimited masterclasses to building industry relationships to chatting with Tony winners, Emmy nominees, and past podcast guests, the community has everything you need to navigate a successful entertainment career. Check it out for yourself. Head over to youbookeditpodcast.com/community or tap the link in the description of this episode, and we'll see you inside. And now, let's meet today's guest. Okay, let's get started. I am excited to introduce my guest today, Kari Nissena. Are you ready for this, Kari?
As they say, I was born ready.
An award-winning American actress, Kari has performed extensively on the stage and screen. With hundreds of acting credits to her name, she has acted in film, television, theater, radio, commercials, voiceover, and more. On the producing side of things, she has produced dozens of films, webisodes, and other projects and events in the entertainment industry. As a sought-after industry expert, speaker, and business coach for actors, she has coached thousands of actors on marketing, press, IMDb, improving their online presence, how to take control of their careers, and much more. Kari, that is a quick intro of who you are and what you've done, but why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself, fill in the gaps, and a little bit more about what you do as a professional in the entertainment industry?
Sure. Thanks for having me here. I'm originally an East Coast girl, but I've lived in Hollywood, California for a long time. And like most of your listeners, I'm an actor, but I am also a producer, and perhaps most valuable to those listening right now, I'm also a business coach for actors, specializing in the topics that actors really need help with, like IMDb and getting on red carpets and getting press and building their online presence, which are basically the topics that actors really find challenging find a challenging time getting help with. So I like the tough topics per se that actors just feel like, why isn't there anybody doing anything about this? Or how do I do this? And instead of wasting a bunch of time, I help them with that.
Beautiful. So valuable. So glad to have you on the show today. I'm excited to dig into this. And let's move on to this first section here.
Yeah.
And Kari, of course, I am a sucker for a good quote. What is your favorite quote you'd like to share with everyone?
Yeah, I've got one for you that I think will be quite helpful. They can't hire you if they don't know you exist.
Oh, it's so good. I say that to people all the time.
Here's the thing. It sounds like a bumper sticker or something. It's like one of those things like, yeah, I know that. But if we dive a little bit deeper, I say this all the time because it's so true. An example, if an actor wants to work on, let's say, a particular show, say they're targeting a TV show, but if that show doesn't know that particular actor is even a human being on planet Earth, then how can they be cast? It's not logical. So after you've been trained and we're always assuming you're already talented, right? And that you have skill. So after all that is said and done, then what really comes down to having a successful career or not is the marketing. And a lot of the times, your job as an actor then becomes simply to get known by the people that are in a position to hire you. Simple as that.
Yes, so simple. And it's done in such a variety of ways, and we keep adding platforms and different ways to become known every day, it seems. But yeah, and you really have to, imagine you coach this with your clients, that you have to leverage the old school ways, you have to leverage the new school ways of doing things as well.
Yeah, we have to our whole careers are a big improv, aren't they?
Yeah.
So there are some tried and true things like I know that you talk about this as well, is mindset is everything really. But getting into action and then being flexible for when the new things or the next new thing that we don't even know
Yeah.
about yet is going to come around, you want to be ahead of the game. But when you're trying to target particular people, it's interesting to me that a lot of actors don't know that they can actually be proactive. Say, okay, if that showrunner doesn't know you exist, make that showrunner know you exist in a positive way. Don't be creepy or anything.
Yeah,
But
yeah, of
you
course.
know, but be professional and awesome and get them to know that you are perfect for their show if you are. And that comes down to strategy and planning too.
For sure. Love that. And let's get into this next section here. And Kari, of course, you're an entertainer and I'm an entertainer. I think that you'd agree that this industry can be one of the most subjective, brutally honest, personally emotional industries in existence. And you know as well as I that in order to create and have a successful career in this industry, like you're having now, takes a lot of dedication and hard work. And while, yeah, there's an outrageous amount of fun and excitement being an entertainer, doing what we do, there are also our fair share of obstacles, challenges, and failures we are going to experience, we're going to have to move forward through. So tell us, what is one key challenge, obstacle, or failure you've experienced in your career, and how did you come out the other side better because of it?
I feel like one of the challenges I had in the beginning of my career was finding a way to bring in consistent paid work. And I think
Hmm.
that's almost every actor's challenge. So I think one of the best things that an actor can do at the beginning of their career is to make sure that your survival jobs are more than just survival. So get work within the industry. So even have your survival job support you in your acting career beyond just the money. So I've worked at a theater, I've worked at acting schools. You can work as a PA or do singing telegrams or whatever. But I want you to have something that will allow you to meet people in the business while you're paying your bills in between your acting gigs. Because time is not always on our side. So if you have to work 20, 30, 40, 60 hours a week to just keep a roof over your head, why not make those hours productive for more than just money?
Yeah, so true. It's great perspective. I agree wholeheartedly. It's without even, I'm thinking back on my career as well, and without even really, without intentionally setting to do that, it's exactly what I did. And it served me well because it's also developed relationships that I never expected and made connections within different parts of the industry that I never expected and has resulted in loads of work in different aspects of the industry.
And you become more well-rounded as a human, I think. For goodness sake, you want to start your own side biz too. I think everybody should try to have multiple streams of income. And nowadays, everything is from the computer. Have your own side biz. Have something that you can also be your own boss and not rely.
Yeah.
It's never been more important. We found that out during the pandemic, right? Is that for those
Yeah.
of us who already had businesses in play, the shutdown was business as normal. But if you're
Yeah.
working to make somebody else rich, which is what most jobs are, you're working for very little to help some other person become wealthy. When you're in that situation, then when something crazy like this pandemic happened, so many people lost their livelihoods. But instead, have something on the side, at least that you can create that's all your own.
Yes, I think that's incredible advice. And let's move on to a time that I like to call your spotlight moment. That one moment in time you realized, yes, I am going to be an entertainer for a living, or maybe it was, yes, this is what I need to be doing in the entertainment industry. Tell us about that.
Yes, I'm ready for my close up, Mr. Dane.
Oh,
Yes, I wish I had one special moment to share with you, but it's all I've ever wanted. So I started
mm,
acting when I was very little and have been an actor in the business in one way or another my whole life. So sometimes we just know. And I was trying to think of, was there one play I went to or whatever? And it went back so far that I couldn't remember a specific thing because it's always been there. It's just
Yeah.
The acting business has been like another character in my story.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes we just know from the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And let's piggyback on that real quick and let's talk about your number one booked it moment. Walk us through that day, the auditions and callbacks, if they happen to be a part of it.
Mhm.
What was going on in your life and what about that moment makes it your favorite booked it moment?
It's funny. My booked it moment was in hindsight. I didn't
Yeah.
know it was a good story until after the fact. Because after I played this role in this movie, then my producer said, "Oh, yeah, we knew you were totally wrong for it." In the beginning, he was fighting for me, and I didn't know this until we became really good friends. So I had two producers. One said, "This is the girl." And the other one who wrote the role after his mom, it was a real life story. So he had a very specific idea of what the actress
Mm,
playing his mother would be. And I looked nothing like her. I'm like a little blonde thing, all bubbly and stuff. And this character is the villain of the film, basically. Is very negative and whatever. But I came in as the character. And as the story goes, in the character of my director producer's abusive mother, I scared him so much, like he was when he was a kid, that he was like, "Oh, you were right. She is the girl. She is the one to play
yeah.
this role." And so the rest is history. That was one of my favorite roles I ever did because I got to age 30 years and gain 30 pounds, and I got to do accent and all kinds of different things that we dream of as an actor. So the
Oh,
moral of the story
very
is you never
cool.
know. Go for things that even you sometimes don't think that you're right for because you might be more right than you even knew.
100%. Love that story. So good. And it's crazy how life will take you on these little journeys. And I like how you said it's behind sight, booked it moment, because sometimes it's hard to know that you're in the middle of one of the most memorable experiences you're going to have in your life because you're just living it day to day. You're in that present moment, enjoying whatever that might be. And it's hard to know sometimes and be like, yep, that's it. It wasn't like you
Yeah.
had booked a show that had been around for decades and you had that hype to build up. It was a brand new project, a brand new story that fulfilled you in so many different ways.
Yeah, boy, you're right on, Dane, because like TV that's been around, we know what to expect. We can do our research, or a play that if you're doing a Shakespeare play, you can do your research before you go in. But if it's a new work or if it's most indie films, you're not going to know what you're dealing with. So you have to make your own strong choices.
Yeah, for sure. And let's take a moment to talk about the present. What projects are you working on now? What are you looking forward to? And it's a weird time. We are amidst this global pandemic. How do you see the entertainment industry moving forward in the next couple of years?
Yeah, I have quite a few projects and scripts in the works right now for the acting side and producing side of things. But one of the main things I'm concentrating on right now is helping my actors. And I'm always working on new ways to educate actors and to help my clients and students get to the next level, which
Yeah.
is to me so exciting. It's so thrilling to see that happen. So I'm looking forward to building up my YouTube channel on for actor transformation because I feel like that has the ability to help many actors I don't even know. That can reach
Yeah.
far and wide. And I have many other educational programs in the works for actors. And I feel like the industry, I'm proud of our industry, man. We really did band together and it has now shaped itself into something so new and so interesting. And I think that get rid of all the horrible stuff that has happened and all the death and the sickness and all that. If, as far as our just the industry alone goes, I think that there are going to be many silver linings to this. I think that there's so many more opportunities for actors than ever before. And actors sometimes get surprised when I tell them that about 90 to 95% of your career can be done straight from your computer right now,
Honestly.
which is exciting to me because it has an equal playing field. So if the excuses that were holding you back before is, oh, I'm from a small town, or oh, they don't need people like me, or anything like that, guess what? That no longer applies. You can reach a global market now. You can reach casting directors now that maybe were unreachable before. So it's actually a really exciting time. And if you're truly willing to work and grow and learn and do the things that are outside of your comfort zone, then the possibilities are, not to be cheesy, but the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, I agree. And look at the film industry, for instance. Actors Access has been around for quite a while, right? So the idea of self-tapes and submitting, that whole concept has been around. If you're in the film world, you know about it. And if you want to be in the film world and you don't know about Actors Access, check it out. But it allows you to, right, remotely book work, whether that's virtual or whether it means you have to then relocate or fly to whatever city it might be in or whatever it is. Very cool. Makes the whole world accessible to you. But what's also happening, and I've spoken with so many different people from the Broadway world, from the live theater world, that's also what's going to start happening, is that we're going to start seeing auditions in more of a submission style auditioning structure for the Broadway show. So you won't necessarily have to be in New York or LA or another major city where they might do auditions to audition for these amazing, huge live productions. And people are still learning how to efficiently and effectively embrace the technologies to make it really work for what they're looking for. But it's something that's going to be happening. It's something that's already happening. And it's really exciting.
Yeah. Before you had to live like what, in a 20-block radius,
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah.
And have
now
astronomical living costs and all those kinds of things.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's brilliant in a way. And if anybody's listening to this is having fear about technology, I want you to know you're not alone. Okay. A lot of people do let technology hold themselves back. So just because you don't know how to do something, that doesn't mean you don't do it. It just means you have to take a couple steps to figure it out.
Watch a YouTube tutorial.
Thank God for YouTube. That's why I love it so much. Anything you want.
There you go. Brilliant. And let's move on to one of my favorite sections in the interview. I call it the Grease Lightning Round. I am going to ask you a handful of questions. I want you to answer them as quickly and concisely as possible, one after another. Are you ready?
I am ready, sir.
Beautiful. First question. What was the one thing holding you back from committing to a career in the entertainment industry?
Money was a challenge in the beginning. Get peace with your money mindset, savings, and strategies early on.
So good. Second question. What is the best piece of advice you have ever received?
I'm wearing my coaching hat now. This is one of mine. It's advice I often give. It's about the journey, not the destination.
So true. It's wonderful to experience those peaks in our career, those resume lines. We want them. But every single time, I'm sure you can attest to this, and anyone that I've ever spoken with that has achieved some really great peaks in their career that many people often aspire to, is once they happen, as much as you're grateful for them, as much as you appreciate them, they happen, and then that's it.
And then that's it.
And then what?
Changes,
and then what? Then you have to keep doing the work that got you there in the first place.
Yes. And by the way, guys, you are yourself no matter where you live and what level you're at. Okay? So if you're depressed or angry or pissed off at the industry or whatever, when you get rich and famous, you will just be magnified. Okay?
Yeah.
So we want to be happy now. We want to be proactive now. We want to be grateful now. And then even more goodies come. And then even that's magnified.
Oh, so good. Yeah, we got a couple great nuggets of advice right there. Thank you. And the third question, what is something that is working for you right now? Or if you'd like to go pre-COVID, what was working for you before our industry went on pause?
Yeah, because of my 90 to 95% on the computer, not much has changed. So I just work like a beast. My career philosophy is there's always more to do, even during a pandemic. So I'll never quite understand how someone can ever be bored. That the concept is foreign to me. And I think that there is always more to do, always, in a good way.
Yes.
It's exciting.
Yeah, for sure. And the fourth question, what is your best resource? Whether that is a book, a movie, a YouTube video, maybe a podcast or a piece of technology you found is helping your career right now.
Okay, I think this might sound a little self-serving because it's one of the topics I teach, but IMDb It's an amazing resource, and every actor needs to take their IMDb seriously. Okay, so if it's causing you frustration, contact me for help because that's my jam. But it needs to be taken seriously because most of Hollywood, most of the entertainment industry looks at that.
Oh, so good. And the fifth question, if you had to start your career from scratch, but you still had all the knowledge and experience you've collected from your career in this industry, what would you do or not do? Would you do anything differently or would you keep it the same?
You know what? I would love to do it all again. I wish I had a time machine, but I would say this is something that can help everybody is I would have saved 10% off of every penny that I made acting and otherwise, and just normal jobs too, for the compound interest. I would have started that when I was a child for my very first paycheck.
Oh, that's such great advice, especially when you start looking at compounding interest.
So
it's crazy.
It's when I look back at it and I get mad at myself, I'm like, it's just stupid. Why didn't some? And if you're a parent out there listening, for God's sake, teach your children when they're 4 years old that to save 10% off of everything.
There you go. And the last question, what is the golden nugget knowledge drop you've learned from your successful career in this industry you'd like to leave with our listeners?
Yes, I want everybody to stop thinking and start doing. Okay, so yes. Stop thinking and instead take action. Channeling all of your stressing, all of your worrying, all of your analyzing, all of your thinking into just taking action. It will change your career and it will change your life.
Thank you for that. And to wrap up this interview, Kari, it is time to give yourself a plug. Where can we find you? How do our listeners connect with you? Is there anything you want to promote?
Why, certainly. Actortransformation.com. If you go to the links tab, you will see all of my other links as well, which I have many. So I'm all over. But please do subscribe to our YouTube channel because there should be lots of goodies for you as an actor. And also get on our free actor list on the website because that will help you stay informed if I have a class coming up or my IMDb program or private coaching. Or what's wonderful is I also even do some done for you work. There are times in life where you don't have to learn something and you can just delegate. So if you can just say, hey, I need such and such done, sometimes that's the right way to go. And I do some of that as well.
Fantastic. And for everyone listening out there, I have put the links to everything Kari just said into the description of this episode so you can easily connect with her. And also be sure to share this podcast with your fellow entertainers, coaches, teachers, arts and entertainment educators, and anyone you know aspiring to create a career in this entertainment industry. You Booked It is the #1 resource of expertise on how to actually create a successful entertainment career. Case in point, all those nuggets that Kari talked about today. If you like this episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. Kari, thank you so much for being here today. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on.
Thank you so much for having me. I really love that you're making a difference in the world of actors. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for listening today. If you enjoyed this episode and want more like it, be sure to smash that subscribe button. Also, be sure to jump inside the brand new You Booked It community. Head over to youbookeditpodcast.com/community or tap the link in the show notes right now and take your career to the next level. Inside, you'll connect with your people and develop real industry relationships, which, by the way, this podcast has discovered is the #1 fundamental that creates long-term career success. Discover opportunities and join in on over 20 upcoming live masterclasses. Tap the link in the description of this episode, and I'll see you there.